Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm the Gerbil. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching. So my last video I mentioned I'm stepping back from the game a bit, and that's absolutely true. I'm closing down 99% of my Discord, and I'm focusing on other things in life. And I've got so much amazing, supportive, positive feedback. I feel really special and blessed and appreciated, and I really appreciate you all. Thank you for that. It was kind of a hard decision to make. It was a hard decision to share, but naturally people are drawing parallels to my stepping back and celiac Sarah and other people's. And I was just watching my buddy Nooch, and his video today opened up with a comment about, yeah, he was aware that I was pulling back a little bit. And I just wanted to kind of follow up with some of that stuff because I was really intrigued by the conversation, and I've been thinking about this for a while. And his viewer Hot 1860 said, "Did you see that Gerbil is stepping away from the SWGOH community? It's sad to see that the devs are just pushing people away from the game." So I think that Nooch did a better job explaining this honestly than I did. I'm not so much stepping away because of the devs, but I am kind of pulling back because of some of the directions the game is going, the phase of existence the game is in. And as Nooch said, my priorities are shifting. There are other things happening in my life that really need my attention a lot more. A big part of that is my own physical and emotional mental health that I talked a little bit about in Discord. In fact, I'm wearing a scarf not because of aesthetics, but because I recently had a procedure on my head that well, they had to shave my head, and I was in a hospital for about 9 hours, and it was really nasty. And I wasn't able to put pressure on my scalp anywhere on the back for several days, which made sleeping just really, really bad. And I'm recovering, I'm healing, I'm getting there. But anyway, so I wanted to as Nooch's video went on, he made a lot of really wonderful points. Is the game dying? No, I don't believe the game is dying. I absolutely do not believe the game is dying. I think that the game, as Nooch said, easily has 4 or 5 more years of longevity left in it. But there are some trends, and I am pretty good at seeing trends and patterns. I really am. And there are some patterns that I think are worth being aware of, and maybe considering. And so I want to talk about that. The first one I want to talk about, and this comes to us like Business School 101, product life cycle. Almost all products that are manufactured or built and developed and shipped out have 4 fundamental phases of existence. An introductory period where growth is slow, a growth period where the audience begins to embrace whatever you have, you generate the majority of your revenue growth right there, and then a maturity period where the product kind of coasts and lives on its own for a while, and then decline period. In each of these periods, businesses approach them differently, but there are some commonalities. For example, in the decline period, companies tend to reduce investment and focus much more on, for lack of a better word, milking whatever minimal profit they can out of the product before it fades off into retirement. Now, there are ways to rejuvenate and shift the direction of this and revive it, and management can come into a company and say, hey, we're going to double down on this, we're going to rebuild it, we're going to start whatever, and flip this up completely. Now, where is SWGOH? Well, I was really, really curious. I threw into GPT. Thank you, GPT, for understanding my bad grammar. And I asked it simply, please provide a summary business analysis of the game SWGOH. What phase of the, I don't know where the type is, but what phase of the product life cycle is the game likely in? What's the evidence, etc.? And it did a really, really good job. And basically, it said that it believes that the game is in the maturity level. Now, the maturity level is right here. That is not the decline level, but of course, that is the next phase logically. And why is that? Well, it makes some really good points. It talks about revenue is strong, but the game developers are focused on retaining existing players rather than aggressively expanding. Now, SWGOH is far from the end-all be-all, not SWGOH, GPT. it does not know nearly what we assume it does. It is a predictive model, it is a language model, but it does have access to a lot of resources. It can compile those resources much quicker than a human can on a whim. But this statement is actually very true. You might be going, oh, but Gerbil, what about Lightspeed bundles? Lightspeed bundles are not actually, if you really think about it and you break it down, they are not actually designed for new players. Imagine if you were a new player, you download this free-to-play game, and you are a Star Wars fan, and you're like, ooh, hey, I gotta get all my characters up to level 85. There's 360 characters. There's another 80 ships in the game. That's 430 entities, I guess you could say. How do I advance this game quickly? I know. I'll just buy one of 13 Lightspeed bundles. That is not actually going to inspire new players to say, hey, look, for $10 you can get this, for $50 you can get that, for $40 you can get this. No. That actually is a turnoff to a lot of new players, because new players don't want to jump into a new game and dump a lot of money. They want to experience the game, they want to explore the game. If Electronic Arts and CG really wanted to develop the game for new players, they would make a lot of early game improvements, like when you start the game, pick a faction and get a full squad of it, or pick your favorite 10 characters maybe from the Lightspeed bundles, or just flat out pick a Lightspeed bundle for free to immediately get you engaged in all levels and aspects of the game. They're not doing that. What they're doing is they're going to players who are at the 2 to 6 million, even at my 10 plus million GP account. I still bought several Lightspeed bundles because I didn't want to farm up my geos. I didn't want to farm up resistance. I had no emotional connection to resistance. But for $10, I got geos, or whatever it was. For $20, I got the whole resistance faction. That appeals, honestly, more to mid and late game players than it does newbies. So I think GPT is absolutely right. They are investing in retention much more so than they are in existing. Now, this goes on to talk about market saturation, niche player base, and I was like, niche. Do we have examples of niche? Well, you know what? We sure do. SWGOH is increasingly developing into niche factions. These are the characters that came to the game this year. Now, where are the niche, you may be saying? Well, niche, punishing one is 100% a niche ship. Some of you may be going, no, it's not. Yes, it is. Ask yourself realistically and authentically, how many Star Wars fans are in the world? And the answer to that is a couple 100 million. Of those couple 100 million, how many could identify this ship from this picture? And the reality is probably less than 3 to 5% at most. It is a niche ship. It does not appear, to the best of my knowledge, in any of the cinematic films. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's niche. Gungans appealed to a niche group of people as well. Because if you ask the vast majority of Star Wars fans, who do you like? The answers are Darth Vader. The answers are Empire. The answers are Rebels. The answers are the cinematic characters. Now, there's only so much you can do with that, I know, but that's my point. The game is in a period of development where we are focusing on the niche, the fringes, and that is likely to continue as we go into the next couple years of the game. This is not a bad thing, but it is evidence, again, that we are in the mature phase. Okay, so what else? Monetization shifts, right? We got those the Lightspeed bundles we talked about, but you know what else we got? We got Datacrons. That's a niche investment for a lot of people. We got Omicrons. We got a bunch of new ways to capitalize on the existing stuff. Instead of new game modes, we got more upgrades for characters that are in game, and then we got new ways to upgrade the new characters as they come into the game. You want to win in GAC, then you want that Mother Talzin Datacron that was only available with her marquee, or the upcoming Datacron for Baylan Skoll that's only available when he comes to the board. So these are, again, new monetization opportunities, but they're not based on enticing new players, because new players cannot even get these Datacrons, because new players cannot get Relic 7 squads or whatever you needed to unlock these characters to get those Datacrons. I think that what GPT shared with me was pretty much spot on, that the game is in its mature phase. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that next we go into decline? Not really, because as I said, there are many ways that capital gains can shift this back up positively. And I think that there's a lot of argument and potential that they are actually going to do that. But what they have done this year is introduce no new game modes. They've already introduced 16 new characters, 2 new ships. Next week, or probably by the end of the month, we may get Bale and Skull, making it 17 characters, which if you think about it, that's 1 new character every 2.5 weeks across the entire span of the year, which is an incredible amount of monetization. I do think that they are putting minimal investment into the game. Even in Nooch's video, as he gets through to the middle of the video, he talks about how the game can be maintained with minimal investment. And minimal investment honestly is adding 1 new character, 1 new kit, and not having to develop a whole new game mode. Now, you might be thinking like, no, that's not right. That's not right. Surely that's not right. Well, I came across this really cool graph made by a Reddit editor or poster, and this is pretty cool. I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but look at all of this stuff that came to the game early on, right? We got the game launch, we got introduction of guilds, the first raid, squad tournaments, quality of life updates, first Galactic Legends, which is a whole new concept of character, Grand Arena over here, lots of stuff, territory battles, riches. If we scroll down, look at the most recent years. In most recent years, what have we got? We got Territory Battle, Rise of the Empire, but that's an evolution of what we already had. Right, we had Hoth, then we had Light Side and Dark Side Geo battles. We got this, it's an evolution. We got the raid, Crate Raid, followed by Indoor Raid, followed by Naboo, but those are all iterative evolutions of the raids that we already had. And we got monetization through Lightspeed bundles, and what's not on here is Omicrons. In 2024, there's nothing else that has come to the game that I'm aware of right now. It's all characters. And that's okay, because I love collecting, but the contrast is pretty stark between new game modes, playable things that have happened. We're pushing 3.5 years since Conquest came, and that was the last really big new mode. Everything else has been an iterative or an incremental improvement. And now I teach design. Like, design is what I teach, and so I'm quite observant with what is actual innovation versus incremental or iterative improvement. And that's what we have for the last several years with ever broadening spectrum rosters of players, playable players, characters. So is the game dying? No. Is the game in danger of dying? No, I don't really think so. You know, folks, anyway, I think I'm winding down on what I wanted to say. I am not leaving because of the developers exclusively. I got my own issues in life. And like I said in my last video, I'm still going to post vids. I'm not gone. I'm just stepping back a little bit. Less likely to post vids. Anyway, my next video is going to be all about Leviathan. I talked a little, and Punishing One. I talked a little bit last time about, I have a different perspective on this and how the devs messed up its power level, because I don't think they messed it up. I think it's doing exactly what they intended from the start. And no, I don't even think it's anything nefarious. So I hope you watch that one. I'll probably post that vid in a day or two. It may actually shift your entire mindset on some outlooks across life that go way beyond the game. All right, thanks for watching. Like and sub if you want. It's okay, whatever. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.